on this 12th day of February. I want to say greetings, good evening, how the hell are you? Welcome into Beyond Ringside Live, back to basics on this Tuesday night edition. Right at the top of the 8 o'clock hour in the Central Time Zone, right at the top of the 6 o'clock hour on the West Coast. Eastern and Mountain, you know what time it is. If all else fails, you're in the Mountain Time Zone, call Ted Guinness. He'll tell you what time it is. Right, Ted? All right. At least 85% of the time. Fast Eddie Lane in the ever-evolving Studio One. Welcoming in tag team partner, the one, the only, the incomparable Mark Mabo Bowman.
Well, I put a jacket on because somebody said there was going to be a cold opening, and I guess they changed their mind.
Yeah, I held on the cold open. Yeah,
I'm sitting there waiting with the phone away from my ear because it's going to be loud. Nerp.
But, however, they say the last thing you see is the first thing you remember. And unfortunately, it is in this case. But before we get to that, first off, thank you to everybody tuning in through BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, and especially the Beyond Ringside channel on TuneIn and the TuneIn mobile app. Extenuating circumstances from this past Sunday. That's why we're invading your Tuesday night airspace. But thank you for coming along for the ride. We greatly appreciate it. Starting out on a different note, of course, we had a major one come through the news wire this afternoon. At the age of 76, Hall of Famer. I'm not just going to pigeonhole him as a WWE Hall of Famer. I'm saying first ballot Hall of Famer in anybody's book who is genuinely a wrestling historian or knows pro wrestling from that era. Pedro Morales, passing away earlier today, had been fighting reportedly Parkinson's disease for several years. And, of course, Parkinson's does eventually take its toll. They've got some good treatments, but unfortunately there's no way to really combat it on a full scale that I know of. I have friends who do have a day-to-day battle with Parkinson's, and their, research is taking place all the time. But by the same token, Morales was one of the first individuals in ring that I saw through the Weston Mags, as well as a couple of the others, as well as when I first discovered WWF product on WWOR back in the day when they were doing their Saturday night show before the syndicated stuff really kicked in. And I'm talking about the infancy of cable, kids. And for me personally, one of my favorite storylines, one of my favorite programs was over the World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Championship, when Pedro Morales and the magnificent Morocco, Don Morocco, were going back and forth over that championship. And they just absolutely let it rip. I always have liked Morales' style. And he and Morocco were a perfect match for each other in that timeline. And just somebody that I've always held in very high regard. So for me personally, and I'm sure I speak for Mark, but I'm going to let him have his, I'm going to shut up and let him have his say in a second. I'd like to offer my humblest condolences to the family, survivors, and the inner circle of Mr. Morales. Tremendous individual. I've very rarely heard anybody say a negative word about him, and just a huge loss for longtime fans of professional wrestling. If you've never seen his work, look it up, because there's a lot of it out there, and you can even find some of the classic stuff on the WWE Network. And as promised, Mabo, come on in, my friend.
76 years old. About, 2 years younger than you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. So I came in, I got into wrestling at the tail end of his career in the early 80s, early to mid 80s, when the rock and wrestling rage was kicking off. So, I saw him. I was definitely aware of Pedro Morales. I mean, but at that point, he was more relegated to, your mid-card and your lower mid-card stuff. And, I mean, sometimes more opener. I wouldn't say a job guy.
Oh God, no.
He wasn't SD Jones, but at that point, he was kind of relegated to your lower mid-card opener status, because that was the era of, the big, muscly steroid freak, or the monster that Hogan could defeat, after about a month or two. So I was fortunate enough to catch the end of it, though, not catch the heyday, did not, wasn't around for his, what was it, WWF title run?
Correct.
Yeah. So wasn't fortunate enough for that, but, you know, even from what I saw towards the tail end of his WWF career, dude was good. Dude could go. I mean, for a guy built more like me than, you know, an actual athlete, dude could go, and he broke down a ton of barriers for Latino wrestlers. So, you know, definitely a huge loss. Luckily, I believe WWF or WWE, I should say, and the Cauliflower Alley, I believe he's in both of those.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's good to see that they recognized him long before, you know, was it post-mortem?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they definitely didn't go, oh, he's passed away, let's put him in there now.
Vince wouldn't let that happen.
With so many people.
Yeah, Vince Jr. wouldn't let that happen out of respect for his dad and everything that Pedro did for the companies. I mean, you have to remember, Morales made his in-ring debut, if my notes are correct, 1959. So I do have to go back and revise my age. I was only 3 at the time. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's a good 20 years before me. So,
and of course, one of the most notable is like one that you hear about all the time, and I wish the video was more easily accessible. Was when in Shea Stadium, when it was Pedro and Bruno Sammartino at the first ever Showdown at Shea Supercard. This match went over an hour and 15 minutes. Was ruled a draw because the state athletic commission had a strict 11 p.m. curfew. So from that point, it's like, and also Pedro was Intercontinental Champion, Worldwide Wrestling Federation U.S. Champion, NWA U.S. Champion, held the title, and you know everybody wants to do the numbers game. 19 early 70s, held the title for 1,027 days. So that's a vote of faith from Vince Sr.
Yeah, he was definitely one of those that when they always talk about your top title reigns for WWF, WWE, he's always, I think he's been firmly ensconced in the top 10 for, you know, years. So.
You sounded like you were going to continue.
No.
So,
sorry. I've been waiting, and I never thought I would say this. I've been waiting for the Miz and Mrs. to come back.
Yeah.
And the trailer's on. So.
Oh, okay. So you're distracted.
I never thought I'd say I'd look forward to seeing the Miz.
I had thought about using a cold open this evening, soundbite going directly into the show open, and I opted out of it because I wanted to set this one up. I've been actually visible in some online forums lately under Fast Eddie Lane, or my other name on Facebook. From there, Eddie Lane Powell, I'm sorry, my personal name. So if you're looking for me on Facebook, just go to facebook.com/beyondringside, okay? I answer those questions over there. Facebook.com/beyondringside live. It could be me, Phil Stamper, or Mark Bowman, depending on who gets to it first. But one of the topics of conversation has been the rumor mill that's been churning over the last couple of weeks about a possible addition of Charlotte Flair to the Raw Women's title match. Yep, and Mabo's about to barf. So, folks, you're gonna end up hearing him barf halfway through this upcoming. And this, of course, is what happened last night on Monday Night Raw.
What's happened? Becky apologized. Hang on. It's the chairman. Whoa. Hang on. No. So before you actually do something silly out there, let me get this off my chest. I think that Stephanie's right. That could be one of the greatest main events of all time. It could be. But Becky, I think you think you're bigger than WWE. You've got an attitude, you got a bad attitude. I don't like bad attitudes. That goes for you too, Rhonda. So you're not the man, I'm the man. Sometimes the man has to make tough decisions, okay? And here's one of them. Becky, you're suspended for 60 days. I'm not going to accept your apology. They may. I'm not, okay? Which means, let's see, that suspension runs out, 5 days after this WrestleMania. We need someone to take your place, someone with charisma, someone with charm, someone who knows their lane and they stay in it. We need someone who's going to take Ronda to the limit. We need Charlotte Flair.
Oh, wow. Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry that has got to, and I'm going to, okay. Maybo, this one's yours, buddy.
You actually want to hear me vomit on the air?
I thought you already passed that. I figured you vomited when he said the name.
I'm sorry, you went a little robot there for a second. What'd you say?
I figured you had already vomited when Vince first said the name Charlotte.
Well, I'm surprised Vince didn't sit there and go, you might be the man, but you're not the man, I'm the man. I'm the McMahon. If he would have said, I'm the McMahon, I would have been like, GTFO. Oh, God. See, they couldn't just let it be a one-on-one. I don't know if it's they don't have faith in Ronda or what, but they just had to fit Charlotte Flair in there because her daddy's the nature boy, the butt of the time, woo, just stealing, wheeling, dealing, woman fondling, divorce having, alimony denying, horse tooth, stayed around too long, bleached blonde so bad it's going bald. Son of a gun! Woo! And now his daughter, who looks like she's always having a bad reaction to shrimp, she's got to show up. Dad, please, can you talk to Uncle Triple H and get me on the WrestleMania? I need to be in the triple threat. I can't settle for anything else. Charm and charisma, my butt.
I figured you'd go ahead and just say ass on that one.
Well, we'll get to no, because I'm going to use my one over the hell damn ass in a minute. But
Are you going to do that one tonight?
She has got about as much charisma as a plain Lay's potato chip.
Now remember, plain Lay's potato chips do have salt on them.
She can be salty, and that's about it.
I figured you'd go another way.
Trying to be nice here.
You
never know who's listening.
I know.
Well, I don't know who's listening. I don't know who's listening. I don't want to affect the job or anything. But my God, just couldn't let it go. Well, it's like I told you off air. If they're going to go with the triple, they're doing the triple threat for a while. But if they're going to do the triple threat and they're actually going to do the triple threat, then they need to definitely let these three women main event. But I'm going to be honest with you, dude.
They won't.
Charlotte and huh?
Lesnar. You think they're going to bump Lesnar out of the main event for Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair?
They should.
Please. This is Vince you're talking about.
I know it's Vince, but come on, Brock, Seth Rollins. We've seen that before, have we not?
Yes, but you'll have you'll have the Vince's Universal title changing hands in the main event at Mania. So therefore, you get that pyro moment.
It's universal. No. I think Becky winning the women's title will be a pyro moment.
It should be.
Well, I don't know. Okay, we've seen Charlotte Ronda before, correct?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, remember Charlotte had to use the kendo stick.
Yeah. So we know how that is. We've not really gotten to see Becky Ronda. We've seen Becky Charlotte. I'm going to be honest with you. If it was to be Charlotte Ronda or Charlotte Becky, or I'm sorry, Becky Ronda, I think Ronda would be okay.
Say it again. You roboted out.
I think if it was either Ronda and Becky or Ronda and Charlotte, Ronda would be okay. I don't think she's going to know how to function in a triple threat situation. Now, I mean, some people are saying that Becky's legitimate. Is she hurt? Is she not hurt for real? I don't think she is. I think this is just. I really hope this is a swerve within a swerve. I hope it's an Inception swerve. I hope it's a Russo swerve, to where it's a swerve within a swerve within a swerve. So, and we do end up getting Becky Ronda main event. I think that would be amazing. And you got to think about this. Before Ronda, having anybody else, the chances of the women main eventing WrestleMania, nah. They'd probably semi, But it is Ronda freaking Rousey. So this would be the perfect opportunity. And I probably just throw in Charlotte in there for the name value because it's got Flair on the backside of it. But they don't need to. Becky has created enough of a buzz, enough of a stir, enough of a name for herself that you don't need to add anybody else in the match. But no, we got to put a Flair in there.
I love it because Charlotte.
Maybe we'll get her. No. We're going to get. Hopefully, we will get lucky, and she will have her herpes Flair. That's her little herpes outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that'll flare up. Woo! Nature boy.
I get it. Okay, look. The outcry on social media over the last 23 hours or 22 hours has been off the chart. Even people who call themselves Charlotte Flair fans are sitting back going, why? Why can't this just be back? I mean, somebody on one of the local Facebook groups, and I use the term local seriously, I'm not saying the name of it, made a comment that their hope was you would have Rousey and Becky with Becky going over, Charlotte Asuka with Charlotte going over, and Bayley and Banks getting the getting the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and they would have that 4 horsewomen moment at the end of WrestleMania with the pyro moment, the 4 of them, the 4 horsewomen of NXT, all having the 4 major, the major championships for women in WWE on the main roster.
I would be okay with that.
That would be a beautiful thing. I would be perfectly cool with that. But that person is in the minority about that particular perspective because everybody's sitting back. And the thing about this is they're violating their own terms of service by dragging Charlotte over from SmackDown to Raw. I know it's Vince. He can do what he wants. I personally, now, let's put this in play. If there are 2 people in this world that can turn anybody babyface or heel in less than a minute. 1 is Ric Flair. 2 is Vince McMahon. The only person that Vince can't get over as a babyface is Stephanie, because everybody just loves to boo the hell out of her. You had last night when Lynch apologized and the crowd was into the moment and Rousey's music hit. Guess what? You had a face matchup that Vince can't stand. Vince does sit back and say, well, damn it, we need a heel. So who does he bring out to be the heel? Charlotte freaking Flair. Now you have a heel for this matchup. If it does go in this direction to a triple threat. If Becky's legitimately injured, I'm sorry. I hate it for you. I really do, because I was looking for you to be in the main event. Or Raw women's title match at WrestleMania. If this is the case, and Lynch is legitimately hurt and won't be able to be there in the match, I hope Rousey retains. Plain and simple. I don't think Charlotte should go... Yes? I thought you were trying to say something, Mark.
No, you started roboting again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the connection tonight. Your connection has just been bouncing back and forth. But for me also, like I said, the fact of the matter stands, now you have a heel in this matchup and Vince is happy. Because Charlotte's basically being booed off the internet and out of the building. Which I got that. And I also know this is a storyline unless Lynch is legitimately injured. If she's not, this will end up being a triple threat in less than a month. Because I think you had a lot of people with their remotes in their hand last night click. And it pissed a lot of people off. Apparently, Charlotte, people were coming after her on social media today, even Twitter, and basically responded to a lot of the criticism she's gotten over the last 24 or 22 hours after being announced as Becky Lynch's replacement for the match with Rousey. And Flair's Charlotte's comment basically was, "Wow, I didn't realize that so many of you didn't want me in the match. Taking that into account, I'll be asking management to remove me effectively immediately." Just kidding.
Good.
I could not possibly care less what you think. I love it. Once again, now you have a heel. Because it's going to come down to, probably on SmackDown, somehow or another, you're going to have Flair Lynch one more time. If Becky wins, she's back in the main event. It becomes a triple threat. If Charlotte wins, it's Charlotte and Rousey. That match will take place. I'm very safe in assuming that. Because remember, Vince announced the suspension that will end 5 days after this WrestleMania. So, there's a number of other facets involved in this whole scenario. But the one that gets me the most is the fact that, once again, it's a case of they needed a heel. Because Vince doesn't...
But did they?
Huh?
Who needed a heel?
Vince.
Who needed a heel? Vince?
Vince.
That's not a they. Oh, my God. I think Kofi just gave Daniel Bryan a concussion.
What, with the big salami?
No, Daniel Bryan, I think he was coming off, hold on, here we go. He was coming off the top rope, and Kofi literally just dropped. When I say Kofi drop kicked him in his forehead, he literally, Kofi's foot went boom, and hit Daniel Bryan right in the middle of the forehead.
Hey, if Daniel Bryan didn't have a concussion coming out of the match with him and Lesnar, Kofi's drop kick won't do it.
Oh, Daniel Bryan's holding the front of his forehead like, ow, 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 ow.
Probably. But
no, ooh, Vince needs a heel. Really? Come on, man, that's garbage.
But see, here's the funny part about this. As Vince's promo gets closer to the introduction, Vince becomes more apathetic. Because normally, and this is just me doing a really crappy Vince McMahon impression, when Vince does an introduction of something of this ilk, he will drag out the syllables. And it would normally sound more like Charlotte Flair instead of Charlotte Flair. See, he crunched it, which made me think that, yeah, okay, I'm doing this, but it's like, why am I doing it this way? So it wasn't a traditional Vince as a heel or wanting to be heel-esque, heel-ish, putting the pivot point in the story. If you see where I'm going with that. Because if you've studied Vince McMahon for any extended period of time and his mannerisms inside the ring, because remember when they had the act of contrition, the promise to do better, how pathetic did Vince look? How disinterested and insincere did Vince sound and look? And if we give you more of what you want and less of what you don't, then WWE will be then, now, and forever. Okay. Wow. Could you possibly have sounded more scripted? Yes, he could have. But on that occasion, no. He just sounded insincere as hell. It's like, well, I need to be out here to back up the kids. And that's exactly what he did. I wonder, and there's times when Vince can actually be, still over the last couple of years, spot on in his microphone work. He's not so much now as he used to be. I know he's older. Shut the hell up, kids. But this whole thing's not over. Not by a long shot. And the women's title match is going to end up being a triple threat. And there's one other little thing. And Mark, I want to get your input on this one. Tell me what you think. Ronda Rousey has been in-ring talent for WWE for how long? Not on camera talent. Not on camera talent. In-ring talent.
Coming up on a year.
She's still in her rookie year. For everybody who has watched her, she's made tremendous progress inside the ring. But there are still serious holes in the way that she works. But for a first-year person, for genuinely a rookie coming up on the beginning of their sophomore year, she's made great strides. Becky, I don't think Vince is convinced that Becky can cover Rousey's flaws and lack of experience.
And you think Charlotte can?
She is the more seasoned veteran inside the ring, legitimately speaking.
Oh, bull crap.
But if you have
If
you have two good workers in the ring in a triple threat match of this scenario, and I brought this one up. in one of the groups that I'm a part of that I got dragged into. Triple threats can serve a purpose. But the only like I said, the two purposes that I can see is that you have Charlotte and Becky in the position of helping to cover the possible flaws that may still be in Rousey's style. They can take the brunt of the match. And the reason why I say triple threats serve a purpose, and I'm going to throw it to you in a second on this. Let me get this one in. Remember 2004 when Chris Benoit, he who shall not be named, won, and I can say it, it's my station. You can say it too. When Chris Benoit won the Royal Rumble, went on, and they made the match a triple threat at Mania that year, Benoit, Triple H, and HBK, because remember, Hunter and Shawn had a match at the Rumble for the championship that went to a draw. So therefore, when Chris came over from SmackDown to challenge for Hunter's title, they went ahead and kept Shawn in the mix because basically it doesn't compromise HBK's championship chase that he was on, and it also re-solidified the fact that, hey, Benoit deserves to be in this upper echelon because he just defeated Shawn Michaels and Triple H for the championship. I think it helped elevate Chris that much faster by beating them both in the same match. Now, that part having been said, yes, come back over on the possibility of Charlotte and Becky being able to help cover the inexperience of Rousey in this one. Maybe I want your feedback.
But I mean, that's the thing. If it's just going to be the brunt of them two working the match, we've seen ad nauseum. Saw it in NXT, saw it on SmackDown, saw it on Raw, saw it on SmackDown, saw it on Raw. So what's the point of even having Ronda even in the match?
Well, she is the champion.
But that's the thing. Just go ahead and have her. Just drop the title, whatever. If you're gonna put it that way, people want to see something different. People have been clamoring for Becky Ronda one-on-one. And you know what? If Ronda's not good enough, that's on management. That's on management. That's on the people who trained her. That's on everybody involved who's decided within a year to push her into having the women's title for Raw. That's on them. So, can't blame Ronda, can't blame Becky. But if all we're going to get at WrestleMania is Becky versus Charlotte with Ronda, now with extra Ronda flavor.
Good one.
I mean, what the hell then? So what's your point? So, and Charlotte and Ronda had their match, and we see how well Charlotte Ronda there.
You're breaking up again.
I said we see how well Charlotte covered Ronda when they had their little one-on-one match.
Yeah, I know.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. Folks, tell you what, for those of you listening on the live side, we're going to be heading to a quick break. Before we do, on a totally unrelated note, I want to offer my humblest congratulations to our new hometown football team from the Alliance of American Football, the Birmingham Iron, who this past Sunday defeated in the season opener, the league opener, and the inaugural game for the Iron, the Memphis Express in a shutout. And just it was good football. I really enjoyed it. Got a chance to watch some of the game on the CBS Sports app, and I've got to double check and see where the game is going to be televised or how I'm going to be able to watch it this weekend, because for our friends in our home market of Birmingham, Alabama, first off, 17,000 strong plus came out to support the inaugural game at Legion Field for the AAF, the Birmingham Iron and the Memphis Express. Their second outing is going to be this Saturday, February the 16th. Salt Lake City comes in to challenge the Birmingham Iron. That's going to be a 1 p.m. Central Time start. So once again, football fans in the Central Alabama area, you have players that were formerly a part of the University of Alabama Crimson Tide, the University of Alabama Birmingham. I was trying to say that without doing the initials, and I kept flubbing it up because I was getting it mixed up. And, of course, the Auburn Tigers. And the standout for the Birmingham Iron this past Sunday, of course, one of my favorite players from the University of Alabama, Trent Richardson, scored the first touchdown for the franchise, the first 2-point conversion for the franchise, and also scored the second touchdown for the franchise. They've got some great innovations, some great things that are being done with this, with the AAF, to set it apart from the Shield, so to speak, the NFL. And I'm really enjoying it. They're concentrating on player safety while at the same time trying to give you the most exciting style of football around. And so if you get a chance to, if you're not in a market like Memphis, Salt Lake, Birmingham, San Antonio, Orlando, Atlanta, Arizona, there are 8 San Diego. There's 8 teams involved in the AAF right now, and there's 4 in the East Conference, 4 in the West Conference. But I watched one of the games from this past Saturday night and just really enjoyed it. So once again, it's a case of football fans, guess what? There is hope, and it's called the AAF. Check out the website, aaf.com, for the Alliance of American Football. And for our friends here in the state of Alabama, Central Alabama area, remember, February 16th, Legion Field, 1 p.m., the Birmingham Iron back in action against Salt Lake. Folks, hang tight. Got a lot more on the way. We're going to head to the bottom of the hour break. You are listening to Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
What's up, everybody? It's Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Hey, join us every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the triple threat of wrestling radio goes live every week, giving you their thoughts and opinions on the world of professional wrestling. Myself, Brian, and Rob, all live, all here for you. And as my good friend Rob would say, from corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
Howdy, friends. It's the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Lane with your invitation to join me, Mark Mabo Bowman, and Brooks Logan Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Find us on BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, and the Beyond Ringside Radio app for Amazon, Android, BlackBerry, and a whole lot more. Once again, that's Sundays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy Rave, and you're listening to the only Jimmy Rave approved radio show. You're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live on this Tuesday night edition. Fast Eddie Lane over here, welcoming back Mark Mabo Bowman.
Don't put your finger in there.
Exactly. You don't know which Flair's been there first.
Well, I could probably take a guess on how many fingers have been in one of them.
No comment. Well, you remember, he did have a proctology exam, so you don't know how many fingers have been on there or two else. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. From one championship to another, it finally happened. You wondered if it would. You wondered when it would, if it would. The Revival, brand new Raw Tag Team Champions as of last night, defeating Rude and Gable in a clean win. No shortcuts, no cheating, no screw job finish. It was a clean shatter machine. 1, 2, 3. So there have been so many people, for as many people have been pissed off about the Raw Women's title picture, you've got that many more that have been elated about the factor of the Revival getting the tag team championships. I watched the match as it unfolded last night. I'm wondering, how were they going to do this one now? Are they actually going to get a clean win for Rude Gable and put a squash to the Revival? Or are they going to actually do something and the Revival possibly cheat to a win? Or are they going to... I mean, I didn't know. And I watched it unfold organically. I wasn't paying attention to anything going on the web. And I just sat back and said, I'll be damned, it went over clean. I was happy for a minute, and then later in the night they screwed it all up. But moments of brilliance surrounded by hours of futility. Welcome to WWE. But lo and behold, yeah, this is something you and I have been talking about on and off for a little while about exactly what they're going to do with the Revival. Now they've got the tag titles, Mabo.
I was asleep. I mean, what do you want me to say? I can usually make it to about 9:30, or about 9 o'clock, 8:45, 9 o'clock, and then try as I might.
And depending on what he's had for lunch that day, that sound probably is a lot louder.
Yeah, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I missed EC3 and Dean Ambrose having a match.
Ambrose went over.
Revival winning the title. I missed the whole Becky situation. So... WWE, if you want me to care about your product and all that, I'm going to need you to put the good stuff towards the front.
Well, what about everybody who watches the third hour?
Hey, you can play replays.
Okay. Yeah, like they normally do.
Yeah, so, especially if something hot happens in the opening segment. God, they literally hit it every half hour.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
It's like, folks... The majority of people who saw it happen during the first half hour don't have to see it during the second and third hour.
Nope. I mean, if you want to touch upon it, if it's relevant to going into the main event, that's fine. But, if not, I don't need to see every time we come back from commercial break, you reminded me that so-and-so did the something or said the thing and did the what, hey, who. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I got you. I got you when you said it at 7:30. I got you when you said it at 8. I got you said it at 8:30.
Yeah.
And 9 o'clock, I'm asleep.
Pretty much.
Ironically enough, though, I usually, like I said, anywhere between 8:45 and 9 o'clock. But even without setting an alarm, my body knows,
Raw's on, time to...
at like 10:15.
Raw's on, time to crash.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Literally, so like, that hour and a half, my body's like, no, we don't need to endure this anymore.
Really? It's normally your mind saying, I don't need to endure this anymore. But once again, you mentioned Ambrose and EC3. Love the match. Ambrose went over clean after EC3 got the win last week. So they're 1-1. So they're going to try to find a way to bounce that back in the next little while. Of course, you do have pay-per-view this coming Sunday. Yay, team. Or a live event on the WWE Network. I'm not sure if it's actually a pay-per-view right now. Speaking of, waiting on callbacks from about 3 different locations for our friends here in the our home market of Birmingham, Alabama. There are talks for a number of different places for a WrestleMania viewing party. I know of one place that does host on a regular basis, but once again, okay. Before I go any further, let me go and throw this one out there. There is a difference between a company actually getting the pay-per-view through Dish Direct or Hardwire Cable and just streaming it to a big screen through their personal network account. If the latter is what is being done, then we'll come out and we'll do a show from there, no problem. We'll set up for Mania and everything else. We'll join the party right along with everybody else. But actively, we can't promote it. We can promote our being there, but we can't actively promote that you're hosting a WrestleMania viewing party because technically you're not doing it legally. You're using a personal account at a place of business. Whereas during the times when we would be live at Tipsy Teas or Buffalo Wild Wings in Hoover, Trussville, and about 5 or 6 Fox and Hound and a number of different places around our home market where they actually go through the legal steps to get the pay-per-view. So I know that there is a bar that is actually showing it. They showed Royal Rumble, but I don't know if they're doing it through traditional pay-per-view means or if they're actually just streaming the network. I'm not going to be the catalyst to get somebody in trouble on this. So if Beyond Ringside is going to be a part of it, which I would love for it to be, I just have to make sure that when we put the word out that you're doing it legally and are not going to get your ass sued. Because the last thing I need is that on my conscience, which I actually do have one when it comes to business. That's one of my major downfalls is I have a conscience. But coming back over to
hold on.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. What's the difference? What would be the difference if somebody paid for, if a bar paid for it to come through a box, but somebody's, but they paid for the money, which technically would be for their own viewing, just like you were at home, and somebody who pays for the network. What's the difference other than $50, $60?
Quite a bit more. Due to the fact,
really? How?
Easy, because you're using a personal account for a commercial establishment. There is a methodology in place where WWE actually, and the pay-per-view providers, there is a legal methodology involved that they do charge per seat in your seating capacity to legally stream it to a commercial account. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it was when we were at Fox and Hound, Tipsy's, Buffalo's Hoover, Buffalo's Trussville, all these other places that we were at. It's just like with mixed martial arts, UFC, with boxing. You have pay-per-view providers that you have to go through on a commercial level, and you pay a specific amount or a varying amount depending on what your seating capacity is. Now, I mean, it's like, okay, sure. Let's go ahead and call one out. Ghost Train Brewery in Birmingham, Alabama. They do a viewing party every once in a while, but I don't know how they're doing the viewing party. So considering I just said the name of this business to something that's going to reach different places in the United States, including possibly Stamford, Connecticut, or someone with
Sorry.
It's happened before. So lo and behold, if somebody with WWE finds out that Ghost Train is illegally streaming it or improperly streaming it, there are legal ramifications that cost money. If they are going through traditional pay-per-view means, then they'll sit back and go, okay, hats off, have a party. It's been that way for years, man. It's been that way since the inception of pay-per-view. There is a difference between consumer and commercial account. Next.
Sorry, I zoned off.
I know. I took us into the weeds for a hot second on the legality side of it, but that's the truth.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get my stuff in, kids.
Of course.
Rambling on, so.
No, I wasn't rambling on. You asked me a legitimate question. I felt like I gave you a legitimate answer.
Nah. When you start throwing the words legal and legality around, yeah, you're gonna lose me because I try to avoid that stuff.
Yeah, I know. And I try to keep our butts out of trouble. That's why everything that we do, as far as for the most part with music on here on the shows on the station, it's all royalty free, and 99% of it comes from Matthew Huffaker, Technoaxe.com, TEKNOAXE.com. But coming back over to the real side for a hot minute, you know, you're making a reference to the EC3 Ambrose situation, which I just expounded on. But before that happened, at the end of Seth Rollins' promo, Ambrose comes out and interrupts. Gets in the ring, asks for the mic, looks at Rollins and goes, I just have one thing to say. Slay the beast. And he walks off. I'm sitting back going, okay, that's out of the blue. And there's been speculation all the way across the web as to him going off script, so to speak. We don't know if Dean Ambrose went off script on that one. We really don't. We don't know what was agreed upon back in Gorilla or back in Creative or back with the agents. But if he did go off script, basically in the course of 2 seconds flat, Dean Ambrose managed to take him back semi-babyface, take himself back face. So it was like, yeah, and you were asleep through that, so I'm not going to ask you your thoughts on it, but I'll ask you your thoughts on it anyway.
Ambrose is going to do what Ambrose wants to do, whether he's about to go out the door or not. So,
okay. Now, you had some things that you had sent me over in a message during a pre-show that you wanted to make sure to cover, and I'll go ahead and ask, take that top one that you brought up.
Eddie, you got to remember, I don't have in front of me what to do, so you're going to have to bring it up, buddy.
You sent it to me in a text.
I am not looking at the text.
God love it.
I sent you several things for you to bring up. That's why they are in front of you.
Okay. Well, Cody Rhodes, or Cody Runnels, or the American Nightmare Cody, took to social media earlier following a knee operation to let everybody know that the operation went well, and he is looking forward to hopefully getting back to work very soon. Took a picture of himself in the hospital bed with the everything casted up, and he's actually very optimistic about the full prognosis for the recovery.
But I don't think they'll be back in time for Double or Nothing.
What? See, I don't know about the entire how long everything's going to be as far as the recovery period goes. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, there's talk that he won't be back in time for Double or Nothing, or Alpha versus Omega 2, or they might save Alpha versus Omega 2 for the Jericho Cruise, because they're doing another Chris Jericho Rock and Rager Wrestling Low Rama at Sea. Or as I like to call it, there goes the rest of New Level Pro's budget. That's a shoot, kids. That's a shoot.
How? They don't have a budget.
Oh no, that's a shoot. That's people on the inside know what I'm talking about, but that's a shoot.
I ain't gonna be able to pay. I got to go on the Jericho Cruise.
Yeah.
Did I just say that out loud? See, I don't even know, and I just took a shot at that one.
Sorry, we're gonna have to pawn the belts, huh? Somebody needs to get on the Jericho Cruise. We're gonna have to pawn the belts.
Let's see. On tonight's episode of SmackDown Live, it's been revealed that Kofi Kingston of the New Day is going to be replacing Mustafa Ali in the Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah, we literally brought that up on the air when we started.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, apparently...
no, we were off there when we were talking about the giant salami.
Dude, I still don't know what the hell that was.
I think it's a giant salami or a bologna. It's not a giant lipstick tube.
Dude, I don't know what that was, but that was no regular lunch meat, because the regular lunch meat don't flop like that. So I don't know what the hell that was. But, yeah, apparently Mustafa Ali over the weekend, he teamed up with Ty Dillinger. There's somebody who's not happy right now. He's wanting to get released. But then again, aren't we all? And they were having a match against Joe and Shelton Benjamin, and Ali got a little concussed. So he will not be in the chamber. And that's how Kofi is right now still holding strong in the gauntlet match. And him and AJ are having words, but right now Kofi has gone through Daniel Bryan, he's gone through Jeff Hardy, he's gone through Samoa Joe. And right now, he just pie-faced AJ. There's way too much neon green in that ring right now. But, yeah, so,
Oh, no, the gauntlet match is to the winner of the gauntlet match will be the final entrant into the EC match.
Yeah, yeah. What I'm saying, he's going through everybody right now. So I wonder if this was what they had originally planned for Mustafa Ali, was to have him start it off and not necessarily become the final entrant, but I guess whoever's last in the gauntlet maybe take him out. Probably going to be Orton. There's somebody that needs to retire. And for crying out loud, if he shows up in All Elite Wrestling, him and Brock, I'm done. I will clean my hands of AEW and anyone associated with it.
There's something I want to bring up. There's been a world of speculation about whether or not AEW has officially made an offer to Randy Orton. Let's blow this out of the water right frickin' now. Randy Orton is still under contract to WWE, to the best of my knowledge. The people who run AEW know that if someone is under contract, you cannot even directly communicate with them about any type of business whatsoever. So, for everybody who's running around a victim of mental masturbation, there is no way that AEW can officially contact Randy Orton about a possible offer.
Or Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar is still under contract to WWE. If their contracts are allowed to expire, the second that contract expires, they can legally get in touch with Randy or Brock or anybody else, Ty Dillinger or whoever. But if talent, it's just like all the BS going on right now in the National Basketball Association. You have so-called stars in the NBA making a reference to, sure, I'd love to play with them next year. Well, technically, that's tampering, and you're not supposed to make comments of that ilk. I don't care if you are LeBron James. You're not supposed to make those kind of comments because like I said, it's tampering. You can't do it in pro football. You can't do it in WWE, period. You get your ass handed to you legally. Because if a team is per se, let's put this on the table. If AEW did improperly extend an offer to Randy, and Randy's contract, and Randy basically went to Vince and said, I'm going to let my contract expire. There are loopholes that WWE can use to block it for a period of time. So, nobody wants that, period. So, in the interest of fairness and for God's sakes, for sanity's sake, let's end it. So, for all the little dirt sheets running around, AEW made an offer to Randy. No, they didn't. They have not made. They cannot legally make a formal offer to Randy Orton. They can talk to his agent if he has one, but they cannot make a formal offer in any capacity until Randy's current contract expires. Unless Vince himself grants permission. That's the only loophole you've got. An agent can't do it. A segment producer can't do it. The executive producer can't do it. Kevin Dunn can't do it. Patterson and Briscoe can't do it. It has to come directly from probably the CEO, the COO, or the chief brand officer. or director of talent relations. I think that would be the last loophole, the last hurdle in place, or the last vestige. So let's just set that to rest right now. So for all the little people running around YouTube who don't have a damn clue, for all the little dirt sheet writers, you don't have a damn clue. Learn business before you put out a story like that. Or it could have been Randy himself fishing around to a couple of the dirt sheet writers. Hey, see what the fans think about me going to AEW. Let's get a rumor started.
I think I have the public opinion on that. Hold on. Let's see if I can pipe that in.
Okay. I saw that coming. What did you do? Replay the same court of public opinion when Charlotte got invited to the match?
No, that's a little bit higher up in the throat.
Okay.
That's more like,
There you go. Oh, God.
That's the acid reflux. With Charlotte, it leaves that permanent burning in your throat. With Randy, it just that rolling boil in your stomach.
What was this you were sending me about Becky Lynch allegedly cussing on Twitter?
Oh, okay. Can we waive the held MS for just one moment?
I'll give you this moment. Go ahead. You can say it one time.
Well, since it's technically a quote, I guess right after she got fired, she got on Twitter, and she, or I'm not fired, suspended. She said, and I quote, you can go look at it. She said, "This is utter bullshit." That's all she said. And Mr. Architect, Mr. Burn It Down, Mr. Seth Rollins, he was like, "Oh, I guess maybe I should start cussing now, and maybe that'll make me relevant." Nah, I'm not that desperate. Well, you a little bitter much there, buddy? Just because you're taking on Brock, no one gives a crap? A little bitter? Well, a little salty? A little upset? What?
I'm just going to let you keep going.
Anyway, need to put the blonde hair back in your, blonde string back in your hair? Maybe wear your Infinity Gauntlet kick pads? Maybe you'll get over. Somebody's upset. So, yeah. I mean, do you honestly think Becky would have dropped that on her Twitter without permission from the WWE? Come on.
I think the man can do whatever she wants.
Oh, yes, you can.
Imagine if Stone Cold was actually active with Twitter in full steam during the Attitude Era.
It would have just been like, what? What?
No, I know it.
What? Hashtag what? We'll go out there with your little tweet. What? 180 characters. What? Little hashtag. What? Little social media. What?
Stomp a mudhole.
What? Huh?
Stomp a. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with Becky making that comment. Not in the least. And I mean, okay. She has been, and this is one of the conversations I had in one of the wrestling groups on Facebook last night. Because one of the moderators of one of the groups made a comment that Becky is being put in a position similar to Daniel Bryan a few years back, being the one that the company doesn't want to be the one to challenge Ronda, blah, 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 that Vince doesn't want, the same way he didn't want Daniel Bryan. Considering the current character incarnation that Becky Lynch is portraying right now on air and on social media, I wouldn't put her in the same classification as Daniel Bryan. I would put her in that same classification as SCSA, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because I don't have a problem with her going a little bit blue as far as the verbiage goes. Because, trust me, you listen to any piece of music that's coming down the pike, okay, I can't say any, but a lot of the music that's coming down the pike has a lot worse language than that.
Oh, God, yes. Don't even get me started.
I just think it's... Now, like I said, the word bullshit, guess what? People use it on a daily basis. Not everybody, but quite a few. So, legitimately, I don't think I have a problem with it. And if Seth wants to come back and do the holier than thou crap, yeah, remember who's got you in their shower sometimes. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't dislike, I don't particularly care for holier than thou crap.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I would have gone from the Avengers Age of Ultron and had a meme of Captain America going, language. That would have been funny, at least in my book.
Like I said, this sounds somebody's a little bitter, throwing a little bit of shade because, maybe they're not going to get to main event WrestleMania. Oh, well, how many times you've already main evented it once, maybe even twice. I think twice. Well, I know once when he won the title after he cashed in, so, boo-hoo. Wah. Calm down there, buddy. But, I mean, literally last night, the way Becky was talking to Triple H and Stephanie at the beginning, I was like, all she needs is a leather vest and to flip somebody off. I was like, she's so stone. She's a better Stone Cold than Stone Cold's being Stone Cold. So
at least, yeah, as of late, yeah.
And what was funny was good friend Corey. He was like, she needs to start chugging. Have her chug a Guinness. I was like, you can't chug your Guinness, brother. That's too thick. I was like, I don't know, maybe some Irish whiskey or something, but you can't chug. If you chug a Guinness, you're not getting up. I've seen people try to chug Guinnesses.
And actually,
they're still trying.
Yeah, I love the fact that there is a hashtag flying around Twitter over the last 22 hours, and that's hashtag Get Charlotte Out. Also, hashtag Becky got screwed.
I really hope there's some kind of addendum to this story to where it's obvious that Becky's going to be back into the match. I mean, there's no doubt. But I really hope that there's some kind of addendum where they're like, "Oh, Charlotte, okay, you're back out." And you know what? If they go with your idea, I think that's great. I'd be like, "Yay!" That sounds like a wonderful idea, or the idea of the person in that group.
Now,
that's just I would think that would be awesome, and then that would actually give a reason to set up the MMA horsewomen versus the WWE horsewomen.
Yeah,
I think that would be awesome. Even if a one-time thing. So
now, yeah, you've even got people comparing Charlotte to Roman Reigns right now. Oh my God! God love Twitter. Sometimes I really do. There are times I hate Twitter with a passion 9 times out of 10, but this time I'm actually getting a chuckle out of it, folks.
Well, I haven't seen this much horse abuse since the end of Secretariat.
I'm going to be honest about this. As my tag team partner on this show has made his opinion very clear about how he genuinely feels about Charlotte Flair as an in-ring performer and as a star. And we're going to leave it at that. I, on the other hand, actually enjoy Charlotte in ring. I think that the addition of all the makeup has taken away from the appeal that Charlotte had because it makes her look whorish and overmade.
Yeah, it's the makeup that did that. Yeah.
Well, I'm not even going to mention the reset of the rack. That's all I'm going to leave it at. But I think. Go ahead.
I was going to say, before you sit there and you're right and you're wrong in your assumption about what I've said. I think she's a good in-ring performer. Don't get me wrong. But I think because of who her dad is and what her last name is and the connection that her family has with top brass in the WWE, she has been given every opportunity and then some and gotten her way and went over people who are far more talented than her because of that connection. Is she good? She is good. But she is, everybody makes it to be, ooh, she can bridge during a figure 4. Look at that. Yay. She's bendy and flexible. She can do a cartwheel or a headstand. Woohoo! Yay! So can most strippers. So, I will not take away the fact that she is good in the ring. She's good. But there are people who are better. There are people on that roster who are better. But because they don't have a legacy behind them, they are never going to get the opportunities. Just like Randy Orton. Although, to be honest, Bob Orton Jr. was not that good. But
away from WWE, yes, he was. I watched him perform in different organizations.
Well, but, people only know him from WWF.
Most people only know him from WWF.
But look at Ted DiBiase Jr.
Underappreciated.
Look how amazing his father was.
Yeah.
Okay? Was Ted DiBiase Jr. good in the ring?
Yes.
Ted DiBiase Jr. was very good in the ring. But because he had that last name, he got a little bit more than everybody else, and it didn't really work out. And now he's off, he stepped away, and he's off doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
And bless him. I'll be the first one to tell you, I thought Ted DiBiase was, they could have went so many different avenues with him, but they chose not to.
Right.
So, that's just how it is. So, don't ever let it think that I am completely against Charlotte's work, because, like I said, I think she's very good in the ring. You got to be to make it to that level, but that legacy is what pushed her to get to where she is today. So, and if anybody fight me on it, change my. What's the little meme that everybody puts up? Hey, change my mind. Change my mind.
See, my main one of my main arguments in this whole scenario is, like I said, aside from the fact that I believe that Charlotte and Becky can help guide Ronda to a damn good match that a lot of people are going to be talking about, and it should be in the main event at Mania. I don't have a problem saying that. I don't care who AJ or who the WWE champion is, who the Universal champion is. I think you have an opportunity, and this is going to be a very narrow window, with Ronda Rousey continuing to hold the superstar status that she does. And I think personally, for as good as Becky Lynch is in the ring, I don't think that even she single-handedly could cover, because if you watched Charlotte and Rousey, they actually they had a good match, but it wasn't great, and even Charlotte herself couldn't mask some of the inexperience and flaws that Rousey had in her style that night. So with two good workers in that ring, in the roles of Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, I think that will help elevate the game of Ronda Rousey. They're going to be working on this match for a while. They've got 6 weeks plus. So from that vantage point, I'll just simply sit back and say, I'm looking forward to watching how this unfolds. So for everybody on the web, I love the hashtag Get Charlotte Out, hashtag Becky got screwed. But thing about it is, we just need to give it time and see how it works. And if all else fails, if Charlotte wins, we riot. I mean, because personally, I like Charlotte in ring. Like I said, if she's not trying to be her daddy's daughter, she does good promos. But when she starts going overly deliberate with the woos and everything else, I think she sells herself short. I don't think she does that well. And like I said, this little facelift that she's given herself with, what is it? Everybody wants to go heavy on the eyeshadow and all that other crap. Rousey, please stop it. Ronda, don't do it anymore. Charlotte just is trying to look like a tag team partner for Lacey Evans. Lacey can pull off that look. Charlotte can't. So I'm just going to leave that at that. Folks, we're going to go ahead for the Radio Ranch, as I like to call it. But before we do, of course, tried and true tradition around here. Mark Mabo Bowman, last call.
Oh, I'm going to get my last call in, since I didn't get to say what I wanted to say Sunday about what went down last week.
I'm stepping aside. It's all you, buddy.
I ain't going to mention no names. I ain't going to mention, since this person wanted to block me anyway. But let's rewind real quick, and we'll make it as quick as possible because I know Eddie wants to get home and probably get something to eat.
Oh no, it's fine. We're good.
So
you have
you
have all the time in the world. Go with it.
Well, we're gonna rewind this all the way back to the ticket announcement party that All Elite Wrestling held last week in at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, where some people are a little confused. Some new talent was introduced, and some talent was introduced that would just be working the Double or Nothing show. A lot of people think that Pentagon and Phoenix have signed with AEW. To the best of my knowledge, they have not signed. They will just be appearing on the show, taking on the Young Bucks, which that's going to be a pretty freaking amazing match. But they did officially announce that Kenny Omega has signed with All Elite Wrestling. You know, everybody was wondering. It was never really in doubt. Everybody knew where he was going. 2 more signings. Well, definitely one signing. I don't know if they made the other official, but was former guest of the show, Sonny Kiss, announced that he is with and has signed with All Elite Wrestling. For those of you who don't know Sonny, you may be familiar with him as Exolicious on the could-be-defunct Lucha Underground. We don't know. We'll see. And the other, oh goodness, I forgot the young lady's name. Oh my goodness, Eddie, help me out here, buddy.
Nyla Rose.
Nyla Rose, thank you. I was gonna afraid I'd screw up saying Nia Jax, but yes, Nyla Rose. She came out and I believe she attacked Britt Baker. No, Kylie Ray. I believe she attacked Kylie Ray. That's another one who signed, Kylie Ray. That's another great signing, too. So, for those of you who don't know, Sonny Kiss is very open about his homosexuality. I've got no problem with that. Eddie, you got a problem with it?
Not in the damn least.
Okay. Nyla Rose. I've heard the name Nyla Rose, and I'll be the first to admit I've heard the name Nyla Rose. I've heard people talk about Nyla Rose. I didn't really know anything about Nyla Rose other than, a few people that run in my circle. They've worked with Nyla Rose. I did not know Nyla Rose was transgender. I do work with someone else in other promotions who is transgender. I didn't know they were transgender either. Didn't really think anything about it. Don't really care. When I found out, I was like, huh. As Eddie would say, well, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
So I didn't have any issues. When I did find out that Nyla Rose was transgender, the little Eddie popped up in the back of my head and went, huh, well, there you go. So, in this circle that I run in, this little group of guys, the bitter brothers, so to speak, they posted a screen cap of this young lady on Twitter.
Allegedly, lady.
No, it was on there.
No.
There's no alleged to it.
No, I said allegedly a lady.
Oh, well, we'll get to that in a minute, too. So, they, showed a screen cap from her Twitter account saying that both Sonny Kiss and Nyla Rose were only hired by All Elite Wrestling because of their gender identification and their sexual preference. Now, you know me, Eddie. I normally let stuff like this go. I mean, I haven't. When's the last time, other than the random? Sorry, I gotta pick my nose, kid. I had a really bad booger. Y'all hush. Other than the daily generated horoscope that shows up on my Twitter, I might have tweeted a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I don't really get on Twitter anymore. It's not as fun as it used to be. When they killed the fail whale, that's when my love for Twitter died.
The what?
So, the fail whale. Go back
on
your
that.
Twitter.
I remember it.
Yep. It always showed up on Fridays when people were doing Follow Fridays. So, normally I would let this go, but a combination of my day off and pulling a lights, camera to action, and just wanting to be bitter about something because I love Cam to death. I just could not let this go because do I consider Sonny Kiss like a best friend? No. Do I consider Sonny Kiss a friend? No. I do communicate with Sonny every once in a while on Facebook. Definitely, on his page. Man deserves it. He deserves all the success he gets.
Yep.
So, but once again, I've never spoken with Nyla Rose, nothing like that. But for some reason, it just bothered me so much to the fact that I actually took to Twitter and confronted this young lady, and not in a hostile way. I simply stated, "Did you ever happen to think that maybe they were signed because of their talents?" And I made sure to all parties involved: Sonny Kiss, Nyla Rose, WWE. And you might say, "Well, Mark, why WWE?" Well, let me tell you, kids. This young lady decided to put in her Twitter handle at the very end the letters WWE. I don't think you can do that unless you work for World Wrestling Entertainment. And I'm pretty sure that they would not be appreciative of someone saying something like that, regardless of what company it is, and having their letters at the end of her name. So I literally, over about a 5 to 7 tweet rant, if you want to go see what it says, I've not taken it down. I'm not going to take it down. I'm not a coward like some people. If I tweet something, it stays. If you have issues with me, you can at me on Twitter. You can hit me on the DMs. You can message me through Beyond Ringside or my own Facebook page if you can find it. I don't care. I say what I want to, and I don't, because I guess what? I'm a grown-up. I have chest hair. I'm a man, damn it. So, unlike this young lady who not only removed the tweets that she said, that she posted about, but she also made her account private. Well, I made sure every time I made a statement on Twitter involving her, it was I had the little at her screen name. And if it involved Sonny Kiss, Sonny Kiss's screen name was in there with hers. All Elite Wrestling was in there with that. Everybody who was involved. Well, because the young lady even said, "I'll have something to say about this on my YouTube channel." Well, it's been almost a week, and nobody has said, nothing has been posted on her YouTube channel. So, all talk, no game. Apparently, though, she did not care. Instead of coming back at me and defending her position, which any person who is going to make that bold of a statement, you obviously stand behind that statement. One, you wouldn't have deleted it. Two, you would have stood by it. Not once did she choose to message me privately or on Twitter. She chose to block me. Well, once again, people who really know me know that when I get a hold of something, I can't let it go. I get a little bit overly obsessed and a little bit tenacious about the whole situation until I find some kind of resolution, or I, move on to the next thing I sink my teeth into. So I've been checking this young lady's YouTube page to see if she's going to say something, because I want to be YouTube famous for 30 seconds like everybody else in this world. Well, she still hasn't posted anything, but I decided to check out her, one of her videos. And the first one I checked out was her reactions to the women entrants in this year's 2019 Women's Royal Rumble. What is the phrase, Eddie? I have seen better acting in porn.
Yeah.
The faker than Charlotte's boobs. She proceeds to air quote cry. Once again, you can't see my hands. When Lacey Evans was announced as number one, she was like, "Yes, oh my God, she deserves it so much. Oh my God, this shows a lot of faith in the cup." Like, I have crocodile tears. I'm just like, are you kidding me? And I noticed a pattern. Whenever it was someone who was deemed attractive or of the norm, or who could probably even labeled a diva if this was 10 years ago. First of all, she used the phrase "Yas Queen" more than the actual RuPaul's Drag Race or any other, cross-dressing program has ever used in their life. Everything was "Yas Queen." It's this "Yas Queen." Peyton Royce, "Yas Queen." Billy Kay, "Yas Queen." "Yas Queen." "Yas Queen." So fake, so ridiculous. But when you have somebody who's a little bit different, let's say Nikki Cross. You all right there, buddy?
Yeah, it was my computer.
I was going to say, did I blow up the system? My bad.
No, you're good.
Okay, so Nikki Cross comes out. Did she get oh, she's so beautiful. Yes, queen. She's attractive. You know what she gets? Oh, she's good. She's really a girly girl in real life. So she's completely different from her character. Oh. All the ones that would be deemed attractive and socially acceptable, you're all over it. But when somebody who's different, you want to sit there and be like, oh, well, they're okay. When the young lady from China came out, she's like, oh, yeah, she's good. They could have given that spot to so many other people, though. There's so many more deserving people. So, unless you're attractive and what would be considered back in the day a stereotypical diva look, you're just basically, brushed to the side. But and this is the other thing, her profile, she's a wrestler in training. Really? Who are you training with? Does your trainer know you're making such bold statements? Did you ever think? Because if to be believed, her profile said she's from the New York area. Eddie,
yes.
Of the two people that she said that they were only signed because of their preference or whatever, which one of those two usually works primarily in the New York area?
Depends on the day of the week. Go ahead.
But it would be our good friend Sonny Kiss.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if her trainer, she's training up in New York, there's a good chance that she's gonna, her trainers, or she could even one day share a locker room with Sonny Kiss, possibly.
Yeah, but by the same token, this individual on their personal Twitter account, where they have their name with the WWE at the end of it, they have two pictures. One of her reasonably made up, the other looks like a dumpster diving prostitute.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far because I'm trying to remain civil. Because if I start attacking, then they're going to be like, "Oh, you're a bully because she's a girl."
Shh. Okay, Whoa. Okay, I will counteract that right now. Stupidity knows no boundary on gender or race or religious or any other factor. Stupid is stupid regardless of what the casing is.
I know, but we all know how today's society can be.
I don't care. I'm sick and tired of all the politically correct social justice little bitches running around trying to, well, you can't say that anymore. Guess what, mothers? I will.
Well, like I said, I watched the video, and I'm not going to assume someone's gender, but I'm not 100% sure she's a female. Just saying.
Like I said, without being made up, it looked like a dumpster diving prostitute.
Well, but here's my thing, and we're going to kind of go back. She's WWE through and through. she's taking umbrage that, All Elite Wrestling signed Sonny Kiss because of his sexual preference and Nyla Rose because of her gender identity. Eddie?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But didn't a current SmackDown superstar of the female persuasion, when she was on Tough Enough, did she openly say that she was homosexual?
Yeah.
And when even though she did not win Tough Enough, WWE did hire her knowing that she was homosexual.
Yeah.
And wasn't she pushed fairly well in the time she was in NXT knowing that she was homosexual?
Yeah.
And isn't she currently on the roster?
To my knowledge, I do believe so.
And going to be in the women's tag team elimination chamber for the titles. And last time I checked, isn't she still homosexual?
I haven't asked.
So,
but let's go ahead and put a nice little ribbon on this one, because as far as it goes to the little hooker on Twitter who decided to overstep her lane, just from me to you, bitch, zip it.
my thing is just, first of all, if you're legitimately trying to be in the world of professional wrestling, don't go slapping WWE at the end of your name if you're not with the company. Because one, and I hate using this term because it's my name, but it makes you look like a mark.
For yourself.
Okay? Yeah. Two, when you do post something that could bring about negativity, that's, you know, if people who don't know, because there's a lot of people that ask me, hey, is she with the WWE? And I was like, I don't believe she is.
No, because don't they normally put WWE at the front of the name?
Well, some of them do front of the, I mean, it just depends. Some of them have the front, some of them have the back, and at the end. But the point is the fact that those who might not know if she's with WWE or not, now they're sitting there going, oh, you know, they're going to just assume that she does work with WWE. They're going to be like, hey, WWE, you got an employee over here saying, you know, that this, that, and the other.
No, okay, it depends on who the person is, because Charlotte has WWE at the end, and Lynch has WWE at the end.
Yeah, so I'm saying, it just, like I said, it just depends. So,
well, why didn't Vince McMahon have WWE at the end of his name?
Huh?
Why didn't Vince McMahon have WWE at the end of his name? Vince McMahon's going to go to AEW.
Well, from now on, this point going forward, you can find me at Mabo AEW, at Mabo Ring of ROH, at Mabo NJPW, but not Mabo Impact, because I'm not that desperate.
On that note,
but yeah, just like I said, put a bow on this. One, if you're going to make that bold of a statement, be ready to defend it.
Yeah, really.
Be ready to keep it out there. And if you're, quote unquote, a pro wrestler in training, watch who you insult, because one, you never know when you're going to share a locker room with that person, and two, you never know who you're going to share a locker room with that knows that person. So, just, I know she'll never hear this, but
you'd be surprised.
I hope somebody smartens her up. That's all I can say. And please say something about me in your next YouTube video.
Oh, God. That was funny. That was flipping funny. If you're going to say something about either of us, spell the name right. Of course,
it's Beyond Ringside.
Oh, Barry.
And don't think, and y'all don't think, and I swear on everything, y'all don't think that if she does mention me, I'm going to be like, well, if you want to hear my side of the coin,
hey,
go to www.beyondringside.com, and we can get those imaginary numbers up.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, by the way, I'm gonna throw this to you. I put it up on Facebook.com/FastStudyLane. You're a movie buff to a great degree, right?
For the most part, mainly just comedies.
Okay.
Action, but yeah.
What sequel should never have been made?
By the way, whoever said Caddyshack 2, kiss my black ass. That was a great movie.
I said Caddyshack 2, so kiss my Italian ass.
Well, that's why I said it, but I didn't want to call you out.
I don't care. Call me out. I don't give a rat's ass. Caddyshack 2 sucked.
You shut up. Caddyshack 2 was awesome.
Almost to the point of it almost sucked as bad as Smokey and the Bandit 2 was a little bit better, but not by much.
That's the thing is even the worst sequels, I'm still like, it was good. Like, I mean, okay, for those, have you ever seen the movie Waiting?
Who?
Waiting, starring Ryan Reynolds and that other kid, Anna Faris. They all work at a TGI Fridays style restaurant. It's a cult classic.
No.
No, it is actually really good because I've like a lot of the one-liners I used in life I stole from it. Especially when I walk into a group of people and I go, his mouth tasted exactly like buttermilk.
Oh Jesus!
I'm telling you, it's a good movie. It's not Zach Braff. Who's the guy who looks like Zach Braff?
I don't know.
White dude. I can't remember his name. Any other time I could. Anyway, they made a sequel to that straight to video called Still Waiting. Had really none of the same characters, but I mean, it wasn't the best, but I still enjoyed it. But I would say this, and this is going to be a shocker to people who know me, because I enjoyed The Hangover. The Hangover 2, we could have done without since it was a complete rehash.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Hangover 3, my God, it just went dark.
Yeah, I know.
But, yeah, I mean, as there were some funny moments in Hangover 2, but we could have done without it since it was literally a rehash. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything else because, like I said, I really do enjoy just every movie I watch. I enjoy.
Yeah, Caddyshack 2 sucked. Caddyshack.
I will defend that. Don't you start. I will defend that.
There's nothing you can defend.
Caddyshack 2 was awesome.
Sucked.
Nope. Because that's where I learned what a funzanoon was.
To which I just have one very simple word that sums it all up. Duty! Caddyshack 1 ruled.
Dude, I'm not saying that Caddyshack, the first one, wasn't amazing.
Caddyshack 2 should never have been made.
Oh, dude, come on, man.
Just like parts 2 and 3 of The Matrix.
I never watched those. So.
Cannonball Run 2 should have never been made.
You shut your mouth. I know where you're at right now. I will be there in 5 minutes. I will end you.
Bring the noise.
You don't ever say anything bad about Cannonball or Cannonball Run or Cannonball Run 2.
Cannonball Run was good. I had fun with that movie.
The second one was good.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't say it was great. I said it was good.
Wouldn't even.
It was the Charlotte Flair of the Cannonball.
Oh, damn!
It was good. It was.
On that note, from my side of the board, let me go and throw this one out. Wrestling fans in the southeastern U.S., all roads lead to Carrollton, Georgia this coming Saturday night, February the 16th, as the Peach State Wrestling Alliance returns to the VFW Fairgrounds, 1625 Bankhead Highway. Already signed to appear. The Revelation, Shane Marks versus the... Is he really going by the mongrel now? Britt Jackson? Wow.
Yes. Oh, I will have to fill you. I'll fill you in
off air. Okay.
Okay.
Tag team championships on the line. Beauty and the Beast take on Bailey Blake and Cody Steele. Nice.
Organization 13, I believe.
That's
right?
it. There you go. Also, one-on-one action. Shane Knowles takes on the barefoot badass Matt Gilbert.
I like Matt Gilbert.
Yep. One-on-one action from the Alliance. Romeo, being seconded by CB Suave, will take on Simon Sermon, the exotic one. And in tag team action, Sal Renaro and Marvelous Michael Stevens take on Chris Crunk and P-Dog Mike Posey. Doors open at 6:30, bell time 7:30 p.m. Going to have even more information about the show this coming Thursday night on the Shooters Gallery, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Also, and yes, as if all this action wasn't enough, and I'm being sincere about this, with everything that has happened between Ace and Amy Haven at the hands of AC Mack, they're going to go for a little bit of sunshine. This coming Saturday night live at Peach State Wrestling Alliance, Ace and Amy Haven renew their vows. That was so wrong.
Well, let's just hope that there's a reception and somebody gives them a present with a cobra in it.
Oh, you'd do it too, wouldn't you?
Look, if we could get Ace wrapped up in the ropes, a la Macho Man, somebody slap a cobra around his arm. Well, but then again, as skinny as Ace is, the cobra's fangs would go straight through.
Or around.
Probably. Never see a cobra choke on somebody's arms before.
Yeah, that's true too. And on a personal note, upcoming appearances for yours truly, like I said, February 16th with Peach State Wrestling Alliance in Carrollton. March 2nd, Universal Championship Wrestling in Athens, Georgia. Back with Peach State on March 16th. And on Saturday night, April the 6th in Moody, Alabama with Coast to Coast Championship Wrestling. Got a lot of stuff on the horizon, and yes, you've heard me say it. I'm actually making a return to professional wrestling here in the great state of Alabama. The self-imposed exile is done. And it's not just one, it's coast to coast. That's all I'm saying. A lot of fun on the horizon, guaranteed that. Also, this coming Friday night and every Friday night, Buffalo Wild Wings in Alabaster, Alabama. I'm your humble host for Friday Night Karaoke and the Just for Fun Karaoke Challenge. The event itself starts at 9 o'clock p.m. Microphones will be set ready for you to sing some of your favorite songs. So if you're in Central Alabama, drop on down to Buffalo Wild Wings on Friday night, 9 o'clock, Alabaster at the Promenade Shopping Center. Maybe upcoming appearances you want to throw out there?
Other than the last Saturday in February, I believe that's, 23rd?
Yeah.
I'll be in Munford, Alabama with Victory Championship Wrestling, moving on the road to the finals to crown the inaugural Victory Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion out in Munford. Come out there to see us at the Munford Community Center Gym Complex Police Precinct Library. And that's about it, because no one else will hire me. So screw all of you.
Folks, we're going to call it a day here at the Radio Ranch. Thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Don't forget, if you hear something that you would like to sound off about, at Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside, and Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. BeyondRingside.com is home, as well as ProWrestlingRadio.net. You can easily find us on the TuneIn radio app. Beyond Ringside does have a channel there. On the replay side of life, of course, there are right now 15 different ways that you can catch us, including Spreaker, Stitcher, Podomatic, and iHeartRadio. Good Lord willing, Creek Don't Rise will be back this coming Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central. We're going to go 30 minutes early because there's a damn live event on the WWE Network, and we just want to go and have as much fun as we can before WWE comes along and screws it up. Ain't that right, Mabo?
What?
For Mark Mabo Bowman.
We done yet?
I am the Magic City Motor Mount Fast Steady Lane, saying thank you for joining us right here, and join us next time as we all go Beyond Ringside. Bye for now.